here to honor those that have served our country and given their lives so that we can live in freedom. We need to be constantly reminded of that gift and of those who gave all to make sure that future generations could continue to know life in a free and democratic society. Remembering those who have passed is only half of the task that's before us today. We must also carry their love, honor, and duty forward to future generations. Our children must know who they were, what they did, and why they did it. To do anything less would be a disservice to their sacrifice and to their memories. Those that are gone created a pathway for us to continue on. We must never waver from that pathway of service and freedom and democracy. We must take their memories, take their dreams, and walk forward shouldering the cause of freedom, carrying it high and proud as they did. And we must do it for our children and for our children's children. The Boy Scouts of America are here. They're going to present the colors and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Audience attention. Color guard advance. Prepare to post the colors. Audience hand salute. Those not in uniform, please place your hands over your heart. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Color guard, post the colors. Honor the colors. 2. Color guard dismissed. Audience at ease.
You would remain standing. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please be seated. Good afternoon. I'm Steve Strand, and I'm honored to be here today representing the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States. I want to thank each of you for coming out, and especially to Forest Lawn and the American Legion for hosting today's ceremony. Today is a somber day of remembrance. We take time to reflect on the brave men and women who lost their lives in defense of our great nation. We salute their sacrifice, and we vow our eternal gratitude. I've spent my entire adult life as both a police officer and a soldier, serving my community and my country. I've lost many dear friends who have made the ultimate sacrifice. While Memorial Day is not a time to celebrate, I do celebrate the courage of those men and women who have given their lives in harm's way. America's heroes come from every background. They're made up of every race, religion, color, and creed. They have fought in the air, sea, and land, at home and abroad. Despite all their differences, they were united in their fight for a better world, and they paid with their lives. They leave behind families, friends, and colleagues. We come today to mourn their passing and to keep their memory alive. I pray that God comforts each of you that are grieving a loss. I would like to leave you with the words from President Abraham Lincoln's second inaugural address. He said that we must do all which may achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and all nations. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here today. My name is Keith Hughes. I'm the commander of the local American Legion post. This is the 150th Memorial Day. I don't know how many of you realize that, but when it started. Memorial Day was originally called Decoration Day. It was set aside for that purpose. It was set aside by a small group of people in the beginning who worked diligently, number one, to find a date on the calendar that didn't match the date of some major battle in the Civil War, so there wouldn't be any conflicts. So they came up with May 30th, and originally this group of people walked from Washington, D.C. to Arlington and decorated the graves of the soldiers, both sides of the Civil War, as a mark of unity and respect to all who gave their lives in the service of their nation the way they felt they should serve their nation. Besides being the 150th year of the Memorial Day service, this year is also the year when the United States military casualties in battle exceeded 1 million since the Civil War. The Revolutionary War was not even counted in that statistic. There are 1 million American soldiers, men and women, buried in cemeteries throughout the United States. Arlington National Cemetery now exceeds 400,000 since its dedication. The speech that I consider the first Memorial Day speech, though it was done 5 years before the first celebration day was actually put on the calendar, was done at the dedication of the Gettysburg Cemetery. It was written by the Commander-in-Chief. We seem to save this speech and do it on Lincoln's birthday, but it's really a Memorial Day speech. And its message is timeless. It's as fitting today as it was the day that he presented it. The time frame is a little different, but in his day it was 87 years ago. Our fathers brought forth to this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether this nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place to those who gave their lives that the nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we do this. It is still altogether fitting and proper that we get together at least this once a year to remember consciously and physically those who gave all to secure our freedom, and those who are still on the front lines and in the back rooms dedicated to the freedom that continues in this nation. In a large sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, and we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men living and dead who struggled here have consecrated far above our poor power to to add or detract. The world will little note or long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us the living rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they fought here and have thus far so nobly advanced. Is that any less true today than it was in 1863? I believe not. It is still our duty to continue what they began. We here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, but this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government by the people, of the people, and for the people shall not perish from this earth. That is still our task. It is still our goal. It is still the duty of the American Legion, veterans of foreign wars, the Disabled Veterans of America, the Wounded Warrior Project, the Mission Continues Project, and so many other groups of people who are veterans of this country who have gathered together in one place or another around our town, around our city, around our nation to continue to promote the cause of freedom, that those who died shall not have died in vain. I'm going to close today with another piece of poetry that I heard someone describe as the best known poem nobody knows, because we usually get the words wrong. After the end of World War I, there was a great outpouring in Europe mostly about remembering those who died in battle, remembering especially those who came from other countries to help the European countries survive that great conflict. One of those remembrances was written by a field medic. He was in the Canadian Field Artillery. In Flanders fields the poppies blow below between the crosses, row on row that mark our place. And in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly scarce heard amongst the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, we felt dawn, we saw sunsets glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. His commission to you is the second verse of the poem. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you, from failing hands, we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. We shall not let their memory die. We gather here in that cause to remember those who gave their all, who sacrificed their lives, so that our freedom might continue. I thank you for being here, and I pray that you will all rededicate yourselves to the cause of peace and freedom. Thank you. This time we're going to have the representatives of the Boy Scout lay the wreath at our tomb of unknown soldiers. Would you all stand with me, please? May peace be with you now and forevermore. David.
And I want to thank you for being here, being part of today. Your presence shows great honor. I wear the Flanders Fields poppy because my grandpa served in Passchendaele and was gassed there. First time the Germans used gas at the front, and my dad served in the Navy. Today always pulls at my heartstrings. I'm so proud of my grandpa and my dad and the work that they did. So today we've remembered. We've remembered those who came before and gave the greatest gift that they could give, their lives. The duty and honor of our veterans past and present is the backbone of the nation. But remembering is not enough. As we stand and honor them and the price that they paid, may we always hold in our heart the cause of freedom, and as was so well said, the desire for peace. God bless you. Go in peace today.
Standing for the posting of the colors.
Color guards prepare to retire the colors. Audience attention. Color guard retire the colors. And salute. Two. Audience at ease.
Thank you very much, folks. I would like to remind you that we're going to have a little barbecue down at the American Legion building. So you're all welcome to go from here to there and see how many hot dogs you can consume.